How's it going, everybody? So I wanted to make this video today because things are going crazy in crypto right now, and this is kind of just going to be kind of like a real talk video. Probably do very little editing, if any, on this video, so I apologize if the quality is poor and if I ramble or whatever. But I've been listening to Twitter Spaces most of the day because there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I posted links to the Twitter Spaces that I was listening to. I believe it was, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember how to say the guy's name. His first name was Mario, but I have it on Twitter. But they're actually still going with the Twitter Space, and it's been pretty big. CZ from Binance was in there. Jesse Powell from Kraken was in there. BitBoy Crypto was in there. There was a lot of really big names. Charles Hoskinson from Cardano was in there. And it's just been pretty crazy. They were all focused on talking about FTX. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, but a few other things as well, because it's been a crazy week in crypto, and there's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. So the first thing I want to talk about is exchanges. So on the Twitter space, they were talking about how there were reports of crypto.com having issues, and some of them were saying that they're afraid that crypto.com might be the next exchange that is going to go down, that might file for bankruptcy or have problems. So I wanted to put out a warning, because I don't want people to have the same issues that I had with Voyager. If you've watched my videos, you know that I lost a bunch of money. Well, not a bunch of money, but for me, what was a lot of money. And I had about 1,000 Cardano in Voyager. And for some people, that's a lot. And for other people, that might not be much. For me, it's something I can recover from. But I don't want people to get their money locked up and not be able to get it. And I know a lot of people have already tried to get their money out of their crypto.com accounts, and since everybody is trying, the servers are having issues trying to keep up. So hopefully people can get their money out of crypto.com before they have any issues. Crypto.com, as far as I know, hasn't said anything yet about people not being able to withdraw their money, but it makes me concerned for all of the exchanges right now. The other day, I believe I made a short when I announced that I did this, but I took my XRP off of Coinbase and I put it onto an Exodus wallet. So that's one thing that, who knows if something could happen with the wallets as well, but the wallets are much safer than the exchanges, because the wallets, as far as I know, don't have access to shut off the transferring out of your money. So I'd recommend that if you can, get your money off of an exchange and put it into a wallet, whether it be something like Exodus or the Trust wallet that Binance owns, or MetaMask wallet, or I can't remember the other one that I was thinking of. Coinbase also has a wallet. But if you can get it onto at least a hot wallet, something you can set up and transfer your money over, that's definitely safer than having it on the exchange. And the crazy thing too is, in this Twitter space, I was really impressed with Jesse Powell from Kraken, because he said that there's no reason for you to keep your money on an exchange. Now that's coming from a person that runs an exchange, and if he was making money off of your money in the exchange, it would be his best interest for you to keep your money in there. So I thought that was really impressive that he said, take your money off of the exchanges. There's no reason to keep it there, when he is a big person in the exchange. He used to be the CEO, as far as I remember correctly. So that's something that, if you can, take your money off of the exchanges, put them into a wallet, and keep it there in a safer place. Another thing that Jesse mentioned was the problem that they had in Canada with the government and the trucking situation, that people were trying to send crypto to the truckers because the government didn't want the truckers to get paid. So the Canadian government came in and told Kraken that they had to make it so people couldn't access their accounts. Well, Kraken had to comply with the government. And that was something that he mentioned. He said, the government could come in and try to take your money, and if we're in exchange, what can we do to fight them? So that was, I was actually really impressed with that, because I was really disappointed before when Kraken was working with Canada and did what the government asked him to do. And I remember that, I don't remember what company it was, but they ran a wallet or something in Canada, and on Twitter they posted this thread basically explaining to the Canadian government how their system worked, and that they had no access to the customers' funds and they couldn't shut it down. And they basically poked fun and said, maybe you should brush up on your crypto knowledge, Canada. And so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about, is find at least a hot wallet that you can transfer your money over to. Now, Coinbase is a big one. It's my favorite exchange so far. And I mean, they could be okay, but at this point, who knows? Who knows what's safe and what's not? So try to get your money and put it onto a wallet and take it from the exchanges. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was FTX. So it seems like this was actually a really big scheme from the beginning. And I mean, it reminds me of like some of the crazy crime movies where they've got this crazy plan and they're running through doing all this stuff, and it's all just a big scam. Like, they were making, from what they said in the spaces, seemed like there was a bunch of fake transactions. Like, they had no money to back what they were doing, but they knew how to wire it through or somehow make it seem like they had the money to back it, and then basically everything was exposed and everybody realized that they had no money. But they got everybody. Like, I never really used FTX just because I didn't like how complicated it was to send things, or how complicated it was to use different things, and I really didn't like that they didn't have Cardano on there, so I didn't want to use it. But even, like Kevin O'Leary was an investor in FTX, and they had a whole bunch of big names, and they did a bunch of big things, so they got a bunch of people. So, I mean, this could come out to be some crazy movie like The Wolf of Wall Street, or even like Catch Me If You Can. It's kind of what it reminded me of was Catch Me If You Can. So, this was crazy. And I'm trying to remember what the last thing was that I wanted to talk about. Maybe I'll just stop there for this video. But the main theme of this video is, the last thing, I apologize. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was, a lot of times we get confused because what we're used to is stocks. Now with stocks, you can't take your stocks off of the brokerage. I can't go to Robinhood and say, okay, give me my Tesla shares. I want to take them off and put them in my wallet. So I think that's where a lot of this confusion comes from. We think an exchange for crypto is the same as a brokerage for stocks. And it's just what we're used to. So it's understandable that we don't realize what the difference is, because it's something brand new. How are we supposed to be used to this when it's something totally new? So thinking of crypto is more like owning gold and silver. Now you can have a derivative or something that represents gold and silver on a stock brokerage, but you can physically own gold and silver, and it's because they're commodities. Now, crypto is much more similar to gold and silver than it is to stocks. Now, you can't physically hold your crypto, but with the wallets and everything, you can have it in your possession. You can have the transaction hash or the information or the code on the blockchain that represents your crypto behind it. So you can have possession of that and put it in a place where you can hold on to it. So it's understandable that it's confusing, that you can't trust the exchanges, but also there's no regulation and there's no rules in crypto, whereas in stocks there are. You have to be able to have there's like the SIPC insurance, or for banks there's the FDIC insurance, with crypto, there's no regulation and there's no promises right now for that kind of stuff. So it's understandable that we're not used to this and it's different. But it's a totally new world, and that's why there's still so much upside potential for the investments, because it's brand new. People are scared to use it. And if you're able to get in now while it's still new and young and fresh, then you can make a lot of money in it. But just try to be careful, learn as much as you can, because that's where the true power comes from, is from your education. Whatever you can learn and however you can protect yourself right now, try to do that. So just kind of focus on that. Crypto is different from stocks. It's it's a new asset class basically, and we're all just kind of learning together. But also check out my Twitter page. I posted, which part 2 of that Twitter space is still going. The first part was 9 hours long, and I only caught I apologize, I only caught like the last 6 hours of it, and the other one started shortly after that and still going. So it's a lot of information and it's a long time, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of the high points out of it. But if you want to check out the full spaces, it's on my Twitter page. And thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully that this was informative. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, it's just been a crazy day, and there's still opportunities to make money, but we're just gonna have to be extra safe. So thanks again everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.